Get it!
Do the thing where you go.
What's the harmony? That's the only thing I do different on these guitars. I turn this around the other way.
Yes, you do. Yeah. Because you grab.
I like to hit that G string behind.
Yeah.
But other than that, how I play them and how is the exact same guitar y'all get. Ken Haas here.
Greg Koch.
We're here in the Wildwood Lair to discuss.
Schmidt. If I may
Schmidt there one time.
Yeah, just to not use the. We've been using the abridged version all day.
That's right.
Yeah, Naylor did this triple tree thing is what he's alluding to, where the bar sort of just extends so that you can pop the G string underneath of it, because that G string, the typical sort of inline 6 headstock on a T-style guitar, sometimes leaves that G string a little wonky. However, gentlemen who have been playing with just the one string tree for their whole lives, grab that G string for some
various malfeasance purposes.
Indeed.
Malodorous purposes.
Yeah.
Malodiferous. Yes. Those aren't words.
Yes. The neat thing about this, though, is you can just slide it over.
I literally just turn it around. So it still covers the top 2 strings, but not Mr. G, so I can grab it behind the nutski and go, ping, whoa, so I can do my dental drill lick. Sounds like a damn dentist drill ready to go into your molar, your tone molar.
The Gristlemaster itself.
I love it.
The original Fishman Gristle-Tone pickups, and this bridge. We can touch on this for a second. We talked earlier in another video, which you can find over here somewhere, about our mutual relationship with our good friend Trev Wilkinson.
Yes.
And he came up with this sort of compensated brass saddle bridge, which looks the part and sounds the part.
Yeah, I wanted the brass saddles. Some guy, this was weird. Out of the blue, some guy chimes in on the internet somewhere. He's like, you said in the clinic back in 19 whatever that you didn't care what kind of a bridge a telly had on it. And I said, well, that's true. I did say that because that was before I did 5,000 videos here at Wildwood and played the different bridges and realized, you know what? There is a difference between the brass and the stainless steel and the 6 as opposed to the 3-barrel, the 3, you know what I'm talking about. The 3 as opposed to the 6. And so, given my druthers, I like the sound of brass.
Okay.
But I'd like to be able to have it intonated. And so Trev makes this modern version of an old 50s style Fender bridge.
What is it about the brass?
The brass just gives it a little bit more.
Is it a bright thing for you?
Yeah, it's a snap.
You're into that snap. You're into that brightness.
I need the crackle and snap.
Yeah, I get it. So, and it's interesting because we're voicing your pickups on those saddles, and those pickups do sound different than the East-Sider with the stainless steel saddles.
Yeah.
It does.
It does.
Right.
Totally.
I totally get it. And of course, Joe is thinking of the stainless steel saddles when he's voicing the Railhammers or voicing our Alnico pickups or any of the Reverend pickups or the Railhammer pickups or whatever. So it is funny how it all comes into play in one way or another, but it really does. Yeah.
Well, I used to always be a little... I'm not dismissive of the idiosyncratic, micromanagement of this thing affects the tone. Because most of the time, if you don't know the difference, you don't know the difference, and who cares? You make music with what you got.
Yes.
But when you start to go under the hood a little bit, you realize, there are differences. And so if you have certain preferences based on these, micro adjustments, there's nothing wrong with it.
No, of course not. What I think is funny is how all of that stuff falls down the chain. So I always get a giggle out of guys who tell me, I don't want to call anybody out here. I'm sorry, better be careful. Yeah. Who tell me that like I can only play a humbucker that has this much output, and then they give me the ohm rating, and they're like, well, that's all I can do. And then you look at their pedal board, and the first pedal is a Boss compressor,
Right.
which is going to negate anything.
Right.
That if you're trying to tell me, you can tell the difference between a 11.5 and a 12.9 output pickup through that, and maybe he can, but Anyway,
yes,
we've heard all kinds of crazy shit over the years,
no
for
doubt.
sure. All kinds of crazy.
No doubt.
But yeah, most of that stuff is rooted in something.
There's some credence.
And the brass nut is my favorite too. Well, I mean, listen, man, you can really tell the difference how this sounds with the brass. Yeah, the nut is completely out of play in what you just played.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever. We went off on a thing, and that's okay. That's why we're here, to go off on a thing.
Well,
this guitar is.
Well, let's talk about this
gorgeous.
color, because it's based off of the color on this. So Wildwood did a run of the Tosa Turquoise, which was only available on the Gristle 90.
That's for sure.
And this has become one of my favorite, just tone hues in general for my Gristle-Master.
Yes.
And it's these two together are a potent.
Yeah, they are
a potent twin situation.
This particular one is serial number 55209.
Yes.
And it's coming in at 7.5 pounds, Greg.
Yeah, that's nice.
7.5 pounds.
That's nice and light.
And I know for a fact, because I was digging through Wildwood's inventory today, that they have, as of the day we are taping this, they have a handful of those. I think they have 7 or 8 of them.
Nice.
And they all look like light ones. So if you're watching this and this is something that you're into, even it being a limited edition, you can get it.
Yes.
And we are currently making this in what I like to call the gender reveal set. We have the Blucifer, and then the Orchid Pinksifer.
Correct.
Yeah, and when I have them displayed together at like a guitar show or something, I always kind of giggle.
Right.
Is it going to be a boy or a girl? Which is, no, you can't. Obviously, that's okay. I'm sorry.
Right.
But
there's also
that
is a three-tone sunburst no longer?
It's no longer with me.
Okay.
It is still out there in the world, but it's no longer with me.
Okay.
And you and I probably maybe over a feast.
Yes.
We should discuss some colors that we want to do on these next year.
Other tone hues.
Other tone hues. Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. Add to the rainbow.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm for it.
I do too. I'm all for it.
I'm all for it.
What I didn't notice any of around here was any of those midnight black ones with the big fat necks.
Oh yeah, that was a.
Yeah, that was.
There was a run of them here at Wildwood where we did more of a fatter neck profile that was based on an old guitar of mine that we sent the neck.
Real fat.
Yeah, it's big.
That was dope. Indeed.
And there may be some of those more in the future. But how about what was the
Citradelic Sunset?
Citradelic Sunset and the Gristlemaster might be just what the doctor ordered.
Yes. We should talk Steve into that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
No, let's do it. We'll talk to him.
We'll talk
to him.
Yeah. There's always something going on here at the Wildwood Lair.
That's damn right.
And we gristled, and
totally
I
gristled.
enjoyed it.
It was good, clean fun.
It was good.
We grabbed that. Should I tell the Gristle story one last time?
Tell the Gristle story.
People always say, what is Gristle? What is this Gristle thing? And it's just a stupid but fun little catchphrase that happened years ago. Mm-hmm. Back in Milwaukee, my hometown, I had a house gig on a Thursday night. And typically back then, when you're in your 20s, you go out, you maybe have a few adult beverages, and then afterwards go out for some delicious late night cuisine. And this particular evening was no exception. We found ourselves in one of my favorite all-night eating establishments, Ma Fisher's. It's no longer an all-night eating establishment, unfortunately. So many of the all-night eating establishments since COVID no longer offer that particular feature. But back in the day, that was on the menu. So we were out there, and we were a little influenced by perhaps some beverage activity that gone on earlier in the evening, and somehow a food fight broke out in this restaurant, and it got pretty vicious. And then we went outside, and there was still some ancillary weaponry going on. And I remember looking up at the marquee of the Oriental Theater, and there was a little piece of steak gristle from someone had steak and eggs hanging from the marquee, and I began yelling in a semi-altered state, "Pound the gristle." And "Pound the gristle" became a battle cry for us. So every time we were taking the stage, it was like, "Gentlemen, let us go and pound the gristle." And it became the catchphrase for any kind of activity that you could possibly imagine humans might engage in. So pounding the gristle was a thing. And then I began to call it the intersection where all that is right meets all that is wrong, where there's fat, there's flavor, you name it. And I think the first manifestation was a double record I did back in 1996 called Double the Gristle. And then I had a record called Radio Free Gristle. There's Acoustic Gristle Soup. There's all manner of different versions of gristle, ladies and gentlemen. It's a catchphrase. So it seemed like a pretty good thing to have involved with these guitars, since they were bearing my Savage moniker.
Well, and we were putting the Gristle-Tone.
Exactly. The Gristle-Tone pickups were already a thing. I got a Gristle King pedal.
And if you're going to wrestle the Gristle-Tone, you have to do it with the Gristlemaster.
That's correct. You have to be the master of that gristle and pound it.
I am spending way too much time with you.
Pound that damn gristle! All right, folks, there you have it. What should we leave them with?
Oh, I'm going to do that again because it was fun.
All right.